Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pantheon News. I'm pretty excited for today's stories. They are super juicy. I feel like all of them have kind of an element of, I don't want to say necessarily like a different perspective on things, but it's kind of juicy to me for the Webtoon community to get this type of news. Sometimes we get a little bit of the same sort of news, and it takes me a minute to kind of like try and think of an interesting perspective on it, or try and think of a perspective that maybe we didn't think about for said topic. But these are pretty much like I didn't have any thoughts on them really, other than I need to relay these to all of my besties on the live. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our stories. Also, as usual, everything that I say here is my opinion, although that there are links down in the description below, and you can use those as references for what I say. Just putting it out there that you can agree or disagree or whatever you want. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm just relaying the news here. The news, the relative news that I found this month. And with that, we shall enter into our first story of the day. And I already feel like this is going to be pretty intense for a lot of people. I don't know if you guys have a lot of opinions on this or not, but it's around AI art, and specifically this company, Tuning. They are creating a software, at least from what I can understand. Like, the software is not finished, it's still in beta from what I can understand. And it is basically taking out the drawing aspect for creators. Don't quote me on that. We're going to look at the article. Like, each story, I felt like we should just look at the article. Elias said, and you lost me. Hey, I'm just reporting the news here, my guy. This is what's going on. This is what people are talking about. And I felt like I had to bring it up. So let's dive into this. So it's AI and Webtoons. Hugh said, I can see the people holding pitchforks approaching. I know. I feel like I'm already being attacked and I haven't said anything. On this one, I don't necessarily have an opinion on AI yet. So let me just put this out there. So you guys can type your answers in the chat as well. I want to know, what do you guys think about AI in art, AI in Webtoons, AI in general? Just give me your thoughts, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts as I kind of develop them. So my thoughts here are, I don't know what to think about it yet necessarily, because I know there's a lot of potential, people are saying, for people to lose jobs, for it to take over, and X, Y, X, Z. But I don't know if I've seen that yet in the community, in the art community, or in the other creative fields. So I'm waiting to see how it actually is implemented. I feel like a lot of people, like, it's still so early to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't keep up with technology like that. I just feel like it's still early to be like, grab your forks and your pitchforks and let's like take this out behind the barn. I'm just curious. Like, I see the dangers. Like, it's definitely an iRobot situation, but I'm just curious, like, how it escalated to this. Was it just like we saw the danger and then we were like, yes, this is bad? So that's where I'm like, well, what about the people who are making it that are like, this is good? So I want to hear that perspective too. And that's why I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like waiting for the results. Okay, so Elias is still getting a pitchfork. I understand, sir. Don't stab me, though. Adagon said, I quote Miyazaki. Okay, I need the quote. What did he say? Kaylee Blue said, AI is supposed to do math, not art. I feel like AI was supposed to do everything. Like, AI was supposed to be your girlfriend if you wanted it to be, or boyfriend, whatever you're into. Oh, there's the quote. I strongly feel that this is an insult to life itself. Oh, dang, is that what he said? Ooh, now that's juicy. Okay, so he said people are already using a lot of tools to speed up their process with webtoons like 3D assets and custom brushes. I agree with that. Matt said, until AI can do my laundry and my marketing, I kind of don't have much interest. Ooh, if there was AI to do marketing, then sure. I would be all for that. Let's see. Kaylee Blue said 3D assets and brushes were made with consent. So it's a consent issue. Okay. Let's see. It cuts out people from their jobs without paying for their labor, and it stole from artists without their consent. Yeah, I have heard that. Also, can be used for a lot of shady stuff, low key evil. See, I see the potential for the evil. I agree that I see a lot of potential for evil for sure. Adagon said, I heard no genuine defense for AI that isn't an expense of artists. Yeah, I'm not defending it over here. I'm just saying like I don't necessarily see I haven't seen it necessarily impact the artist world just yet because everybody is like AI is not that great from what I've understood. Like you can tell that it's an AI image. So let's see. Hirion said, like if an overworked mangaka like Horikoshi, I think I'm saying that right, who has already drawn thousands of panels of art, he can totally feed an AI model with his own artwork to generate more stuff. AI girlfriend, what? Yeah, like Chobits. Like it's like a digital girlfriend. Kaylee Blue said, doing everything for you is not a tool. Adagon said Miyazaki was directly shown an experiment by a group of young programmers who said that this technology can mimic movements and behaviors without the actual emotion. Even stating, is that supposed to be standing? I think it's standing. Even standing right in front of him that they, no. Even stating right in front of him that they want a machine that draws like humans. Yeah, see, that's my thing about it. Like, I like the idea of it being used to improve an artist's work balance. That's what I like. That's what I hear. Like, oh, Hugh was saying about how you can feed it stuff. Like if you drew this, then maybe it could draw it at different angles for you or something like that. Then I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. But like it just stealing stuff, I'm definitely not okay with the stealing. That seems like crazy. So let's see. Adagon said, oh no, Kaylee Blue said, if the artists themselves can feed their art into it, so can and will and have other people. Drag Fang. What is this about? Not the AI thing. Okay, yes, so we got a little distracted. Let me pull up the article real quick. I know, like, I wanted to get your opinions on it, so let me pull it up. So this is what it is. So Toon Square is the company, and they're introducing Tuning Studio with a AI technology. And so I guess like the marketing is that they're going to this technology can be used to create low cost, high quality webtoons. So this is, I'm guessing, a picture of the team here, and they're at a like a convention sort of thing. And so it says here, Toon Square operates the web browser based software as a service AI artificial intelligence webtoon creation platform called Tuning Service. Tuning incorporates Toon's core AI technology optimized for digital creation, including Tuning Editor, Tuning Magic AI, which is in beta, and Tuning Whirl, which is also in beta. And so then it goes on to bring out that this company is focusing on I feel like it's really for writers that don't want to hire artists. That's what I got from this article. So it says Tuning Editor is an AI-based content creation service that allows users to create various forms of digital content easily and quickly based on their writing or stories. Additionally, Tuning Magic AI is a high-quality image creation service that allows anyone to generate high-resolution images by clicking on or directly entering prompts needed for image creation within the service. And so, like, this is a little presentation. If we want to watch it, I can press play for you guys. But I see, this is where I'm like, I see a lot of danger in this. Like this is one of those you in danger girl situations. Like that's what I feel. Like I understand from a business perspective why someone might have created this. And like they specifically in this paragraph talk about writers, like writers who want to illustrate their stories. And there are people in the Webtoon community that are specifically writers but have a vision for the story but don't have the artistic skills. Like you think about what is the name? Merriweather, they're a creator that is just a writer. And then you think about, I forget his name. Is it Brandon Chin? Like he's the creator of God Game. I could be getting that wrong. So I'm like, I can see why a writer might want to use this, but I still think, like y'all said, it does take away from a seasoned or quality artist. But this is just a new software that they're introducing, which again, you can fully read the article. It'll be linked in the description. Oh, there was a number of comments. So Elias said, Blizzard are using AI to make their marketing illustrations, attempting to remove the need for actual artists. Yeah, see, I don't like the idea of people removing the artists. Like, I feel like art is a craft. It is a skill. It's one of those things where it's like, someone who's, well refined in that skill I shouldn't say could never, but I feel like there's something about a master creating an illustration that is hard to replicate. And so with all of that in mind, I think using this to assist artists could be a smart idea. That's where my business brain takes it. Oh man, you guys are like talking a lot about this. Okay, so Dragfang said, I think that the problem with people wanting AI to take over it, just that no one puts heart into it, which is the problem. Yeah, see, the issue is, I think, with companies though, like a lot of these companies are like wanting people to forcefully break their backs to release weekly episodes, and it's like almost impossible. Adagong said, so what does this AI do exactly? Okay, let's look further into the story, and because like I think it does mention something specifically. Okay, so this is what they say. Toon Square explains that it can reduce working hours in the digital content production process and enhance the completeness of digital content. Furthermore, Tuning is creating a low-cost, high-quality Webtoon production environment by applying Toon Square Webtoon auto-generation AI technology to the existing Webtoon production process. So I thought there was a paragraph in here that really explained it well, and I should have highlighted it. I'm sorry, one second. I think I might have gotten it from the video. 1 second. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's look back at this. So this is their marketing that they used. Play from current slide. Okay. So from the way that it's explained is you would tell the computer, and can I zoom in? Yeah, so you would tell the computer, like, it has style, keyword, expressions, poses, hairstyle, that sort of stuff. So you would kind of tell the system what exactly you're looking for, and you're like, okay, I want it in like a Sakimi-chan style. So you click up here based off of the styles. Okay, this is what I want. And so it says like semi-realism, webtoon, real, and drawing. So you click what you want, and then you would tell it, how many characters, and you select, okay, I want 2 girls, I want a woman, I want a boy, whatever. And so then it generates, okay, 2 girls, and then you tell it the expression the characters should have. So then it auto-populates the expression, and then you tell it the pose, so what are they doing, and then the hairstyle. And it renders all of this. And then if you look over here, you're telling it exactly what you want. Do you want glasses, long hair? What color are the eyes? Blue eyes. And so like you refine the image based off of the words that you put in to generate what you want. And see, this is where it's like, where is it getting the images from? How is it doing this? But see, I like the idea if the artist is uploading their own stuff into this, it's taking those images and creating based off of what you've uploaded, like your own drawings. So like that's where my brain is like, oh, that's really cool. I don't think it's doing that, but because this art style looks very familiar to me. And it's not that someone couldn't necessarily have copied this art style and like uploaded their own images into this, but I don't think their system, especially with the way they're talking about it, is doing any of that. Let's see comments. Matt said, I want a clone of myself to work faster. AI certainly opens up the opportunity, but I would only be interested if it was private software directly on my PC, which seems doable. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hugh said, to be honest, I don't think normies care that much about the AI stuff. Not the extent of how artists care. Yeah, I think artists really, but see, there's a danger there because artists are the ones working in the field. Like business people probably don't see it either. They only see dollar signs. Elias said, doesn't matter the quality of your voice when it can be stolen and be used to train AI to make a voice good as yours or better. Okay. Oh, y'all are talking to each other. Got it. Hughes said, let me tell you about, is that Billy Comics? They don't care, and the readers don't care about the artist's well-being at all. That's great. We shouldn't be agreeing with them and doing what they want. Oh, to be honest, I'm not even sure what would want to use AI for. Yeah, I do think it can limit a lot of skills, but this I think some companies will go in this direction, but I don't think the artist community is ready for it. Just based off of, interacting with you guys and hearing from y'all, it's very much leaning towards no, like we don't want this. And I kind of can understand the sentiment of it. Why hire AI when you can hire me? Why spend the money on the software when you can hire artists that are willing to do these jobs? But the issue always comes down to companies not wanting to pay. And so that's where, when I was looking at this, I was just like, okay, that I want to, kind of be the other perspective of it and be like, yeah, I could see the potential. I also see the dangers. So I hope that didn't cancel me. I did my best with that conversation. I tried really hard not to personally reveal my own opinions or try and influence you guys too much on what I think about the software. I just stated what I wanted and allowed you guys to state what you wanted. The one last thing I want to mention about ToonSquare is they are talking about releasing their own Webtoon platform, which is going to be called Tuning World. So we're going to get another Webtoon platform. Like, oh my good grief. All of these potential Webtoon platforms are emerging. So how do we benefit? Which, I know we had that discussion a few minutes ago where it's like, Apollo, we don't. I heard you guys loud and clear. Well, I will say this. They're a new competitor for Webtoons, so hopefully this might incentivize Webtoons to be, more innovative, to really look at how they can figure out ways to allow creators to have more control over their IPs, over their work, because Webtoons is already working with a lot of artists, and I feel like it would be terrible publicity for them to do anything that the community base of the artist pool that they have is against. Josie, hello! I'm so glad you could make it. We're talking about things that'll get me canceled. Hugh said, "You're fine, Apollo. We don't shoot the messenger." Listen, I feel like back in like medieval times they did. They were like, "How dare you bring me this message?" Elias said that pitchfork turned into a torch. No! Adagon said, Webtoon can definitely use some competition. 100%. I do agree. Well, I don't necessarily agree with it having to be ethical competition, just in the sense that I feel like every company is a little unethical, but I get what you're saying, Adagong. Okay, so the next point is increasing interest in Webtoon for the general population. So what I mean by this is, maybe this will get some people from the like software side or the tech side, more people interested, like making it more mainstream. Like people are recognizing the name Webtoon more and more, and it's just spreading throughout the population even more as it continues to grow and be attached to, clickbaity titles, clickbaity articles, and that sort of thing. And so I do think like another webcomic platform can, potentially be something to get more people interested in Webtoons, which translates to more people possibly being interested in reading our stories. And then I mentioned it earlier, possibly this software being able to assist creators with their heavy workloads. I'm not going to go into it again, but as I said earlier, it could be something to be an aid to artists. I hope that it's not used for evil. Yes, Adagog, it is a complex topic. Now that has serious repercussions of the entire profession, 100%. Hugh said the online webcomic space needs the competition it can get. Yeah, it really does. Like, y'all do not, I don't know if we as a community are paying attention to how powerful Webtoons is becoming. Like, Webtoons to me seems to be on like a Disney track, and they're going to eventually become like a monopoly, like monopoly over there, monopoly over here, and it's not good. Like, when monopolies crash and burn, they crash and burn, and I'm just like, please, Webtoons, do not Okay, listen. All other Webtoon companies, I feel like, need to just step it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Like, figure out your reader base, figure out your target audience. We need some competition up in here. And that kind of segues into this article, which I'm like, oh man, I really might be taken out. Also, what are you guys drinking? Tonight, I have a green tea. It's a mixed berry green tea, and it is delicious. Like, it's my first time having this drink, first time making it, and it is so good. I was not expecting it to be this good. I had one earlier today, and it turned out perfection. So I was like, I've got to have this on the stream. So no cola tonight. All right, so our second article, it's about Webtoons and the Korean government. So hopefully I can make it through this without being taken out. All right, so what did I learn from this article, which we will pull up shortly? And I just want to cover, the big thing. So the South Korean government is planning, or I should say, one of their departments is planning to boost Webtoons, to like really amp them up. Like, I was not expecting this from a government entity, which makes me kind of curious how the government over there works. I know that government can get involved with certain aspects of things, but this just seemed like really different to me and kind of shocking and a little surprising. So we're going to end the slideshow so that we can just like look at the article directly. And maybe I should make this full screen. Okay, let's do this. So this is from Variety, which is a reputable source. Okay, Yoon Cho, Minister for Culture, Sports, and Tourism, on Tuesday said that the government will foster Webtoon platform development, launch a major Webtoon festival in autumn of this year, and by 2027 open a school dedicated to the emerging genre. So yes. So no. So Adagon, they're talking about actually getting involved with webtoons, like actual like webtoons. And that's where I was like scratching my head on this because I felt like that was a little different. Hello Magnetic Salt. I don't know if you just joined or not. I thought you joined earlier, but I wanted to say hello. Looks like Magnetic Salt has a coffee. Josie, I think, is having an iced coffee. That sounds really good. Okay. So, let's look a little further into this. Okay, here. Right here, it says you said that he wants to foster Korean webtoon platforms with the kind of global influence of video streamer Netflix. And that's where I was like, is that how it works? Like, is that what they like? Do government get involved with things like streaming platforms over there? Like that's just so different from over here because like if they are involved with something like that, it's very like cloak and dagger usually. It says it was not immediately clear whether he intends to support the existing corporate participants or also to establish another platform. So it's up in the air whether the minister is going to, really push supporting webtoons like the company Naver, or if he's talking about making his own platform or supporting another platform. And that's where I'm like, dot dot dot. Like they can do that? That's a possibility? Like governments can create their own streaming or web or internet platforms? That seems crazy to me. So, Hugh said, yes, a lot of webtoons get adapted into K-drama. Some Korean webtoons are made with having it getting adapted later in mind. Yes, that's very true. So, I think it's been very lucrative for the government. The government is likely reaping the benefits like via taxes and a bunch of other things. And so, I'm sure the government is like, yes, keep that going and whatnot. So, this is where I'm skipping through the article, so you'll have to read it yourself to get the full picture, but I just want to highlight the big points. So right here, it says you said he aims to increase the size of the industry and the scale of exports. So not only does he want to grow the revenue stream, but he wants to grow it by branching it out further into the other communities, into the other countries, and building out the communities there, the Webtoon community. So I was just like, this is so crazy because this is like big business. Like this is corporate business. And that's what makes it kind of different to me. I was like, oh, but I mean, it's a sound strategy. Like that's how I feel about it. Matt said that's CIA level stuff. 100% agree. Adagong said, so the government is realizing that webtoons are becoming a prime source of income for their economy. That's what I'm thinking. So it does make sense though, because this person is the minister of, what did it say? Of culture, sports, and tourism. And with Webtoon having such a big boom over there, I feel like it does affect the culture a little bit. So it seems like he's on the right path. Like he's really staying at the pulse of what's going on. Magnetic Salt, I mean, Japan has those anime committees, not a one for one comparison, but that's what it reminds me of. Yeah, now that you say that, Magnetic Salt, I see the vision. I see the vision. So maybe that's the mindset here. So if we look further down into the article, they mention about like certain webtoons that have been adapted and they've been successful, that are on Netflix, etc., etc. And then, okay, I think it's here. Okay, right here. It says the plan unveiled on Tuesday include the launch of a comic and webtoon festival this year. It will include awards for global industry players and aim to eventually have the prestige of prizes at the Cannes Film Festival, the ministry said. So this is what's interesting about this. It looks like they're trying to set up like a Oscar or Grammy sort of situation, which I feel like is important. You need this ensures to me like artists will have a platform to be recognized for their works, for the things that they create. So I really like that. But the next paragraph I think is the craziest thing. Okay, not the second, it's the last paragraph. It says these will be further strengthened by the Webtoon College when it opens in a couple of years. You said that the highly regarded Korean Academy of Film and Arts and the country's Game Institute were benchmarks for the college. So they're planning to have a Webtoon, what is it called? When you pick a specific career in college. Lord, it's escaping my brain. Major. They're planning to have a Webtoon major. That is insane. Like, Webtoons has gotten that big that they want to make it part of the curriculum. I just could not believe that. That seemed crazy to me. Like, first of all, I mean, it's kind of genius. Like, I feel like people would actually pay to do it, and it's much more popular over there, and that makes sense. I could see people like actually starting classes for that. Like, there's that platform where you can like buy teaching courses. People spend tons of money on those. So I see the vision. It's just very business oriented to me. So let me ask you guys, what do y'all think? Do y'all think like this is a sound plan? Like, do y'all think that the government should be this involved with like setting up a corporation, creating a corporation, being involved in college award shows, award ceremonies? Like, it just seems so wild to me. Let's see. Hugh said, oh no, y'all are talking to each other. Atagong said, Webtoon adaptations winning awards would be dope. I agree. I feel like there's a lot of webtoons that could be definitely recognized at their committee and would be a cool platform to even launch some people's careers for the like small series that don't get seen. Like, there's a lot of movies that are on like the film festival award sort of area where like the general population does not see it, but it's recognized by the film community for being a work of art, a masterpiece, that sort of thing. And I feel like the Webtoon community really needs that. Like, a lot of people would probably have a lot more positive things or positive viewpoints on Webtoons, and it would force them not to just make such a cookie cutter story if they didn't want to go that way, or if they had a different art style. Like, it opens up so many doors, in my opinion, for creators to really sink their teeth into another side of Webtoons that's not just catering to readers. It's catering towards the intellectuals. Let's see. Kaylee Blue said, so noon of this really affects us. I wouldn't say that it doesn't affect us. I think that it potentially could affect us depending on how they plan to expand into the other communities. Like, Webtoons has, and it depends on who they work with. Like, if they do work with Naver would be brought into this plan, which Naver is a global company now, so that would include the US. Atagong said, at least it took years for people to fully understand that Webtoons are a profitable industry in of themselves. 100%. Josie said, Webtoon college course. I'm thinking it's a major. Like, I feel like it's a major. It could be a course. I'm not sure. Josie said, I got mixed feelings over this Korean government involvement with Webtoons. I really want to know. Like, I want more details. Like, I'm sitting over here trying to figure out what's happening. Oh, Witch's Brew, hello! I've never seen you before, but thanks so much for being on stream. Maybe it will lead to better work environments for Webtoon creators if the government gets involved and starts regulating things. Here's hoping, at least. I hope it does. I don't know what the laws over there are like as far as like if there's like working limitations or working caps or how it works specifically. Like, we always have to remember whenever we're thinking about a government entity that's not in the US or wherever we're from, if we don't know the laws over there, then it's hard to understand like how they're structured to do things. So I'm not sure. Adagong said, imagine a webtoon adaptation becoming regarded as a masterpiece of filmmaking and storytelling. That's what I'm saying. I really feel like, we can go on to the next slide. I really feel like this is opening the door to like a limitless potential situation where it's like, okay, you're not just pandering to 13-year-olds on Webtoons. You could be really writing high level, high intellectual stories for people that want to consume something that's not just completely cookie cutter. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but some people really thrive on telling those more complicated, less tropey sort of stories, which is completely fine, but it's kind of hard to grow on Webtoons when that target audience isn't there. Kaylee Blue said, it makes sense in that it's something they created essentially, so they're proud of it. I agree. I think that I would be proud of it too if it was here. I'd be like, we made that. I guess it's kind of like for Americans with like DC or Marvel. We're generally pretty proud over them. Well, I don't know anymore. Adagong said, we'll say it doesn't seem like Webtoons will die down quickly considering that fact that phones are a thing and will always allow for easy access to comics. Yeah, I think that plays a major role in it. I feel like more people are going to jump on the bandwagon within the next few years and we'll see it continue to skyrocket. Hugh said there isn't like a specific comics major in the traditional art schools here right now. Oh, that's good to know. Adagong said Webtoons are either optimal format for comics on the phone. Yep. Kaylee Blue said Scat has a pretty famous comic art major. Okay, yes. So, let's see. I just one more comment. So Hugh said a Webtoons major will be a first official comics major that is widely recognized. That would be really cool. They could make that. I feel like that would be really, really cool. So, what I was going to say about the other benefits, because we've kind of talked about the potential. I think now is the time, if you're really serious, to look into potentially getting a book agent, look into potentially someone investing in your work if you have something completed, and just going from there and trying to network and make more connections, because like your series could be the thing that ends up on TV. I mean, it's literally, I feel like right now we're like still in the Wild Wild West sort of era, and so it's like people are just like throwing things out and giving money to all sorts of things. And so this is the chance, I think, for a lot of small creators to really just trust in themselves and trust that somebody else will believe in their vision. If I was a book agent, I would be looking through Webtoons all the time. I'd be like, you can find a lot of good stuff there on Canvas. You can snatch them up and not have to share any of that money with Webtoons. And then the last thing was international recognition. I really feel that if this does go the way that I think it does, that they will use this as an international platform. Like just how people want to come to the Oscars and Grammys here that are in other countries, this could be something where creators want to go to their country to be a part of their platform. So depending on how things go, I feel like it could really, really blow up. All right, now for our last story of the day, which before I jump, were there any questions or anything anybody want to say before I move on to the next story? I generally ask that, but I forgot to ask that on the first one. I think it was too heavy for me, so I had to jump out of it. I will say this. Sometimes when you read these articles or look at the news that's going on, you really got to think about it in terms of beyond immediate gratification. Sometimes there are things that having the knowledge of it will benefit you down the long run. Kaylee Blue said, depends on the job you want. You kind of have to if you want to animate for Disney or something. I guess I'm reading that out of context. Maybe you're speaking with someone else? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna assume y'all are having a conversation. I'm reading through the comments. I'm like, wait, what's happening? All right, so if there's no questions, we are going to dive into this. Adagong said, have no experience with solo leveling despite seeing volumes in my school library. Well, it is very popular and it is like taking the world by storm. So, the updates on this and why it is important. Okay, so Solo Leveling was one of the animes that people would always talk about. Like, they were like, I can't, Solo Leveling needs to get an anime. Manhwas that need to become an anime. Like, so much of it was all about, like, this series becoming an anime. And so, if it was not successful, I felt like investors were just going to throw their hands up in the air. Because, now, this might be taken the wrong way, but I'm going to say it anyway. God of High School and Tower of God weren't received, I think, the way that people intended for it to be. Like, Tower of God is so good. I haven't really read that much of God of High School. It wasn't my vibe when I tried to read it. It could have been my mood, but I wasn't a huge fan. I'm sorry. But the animes did not perform the way I think investors expected them to. So when Solo Leveling got announced, it was a big deal because this was going to be the anime that was going to redeem the Webtoon community, which I also kind of like this fact because it's not a Naver IP. So I'm like, I mean, series can be successful outside of Naver. You just have to look for them. And what's crazy about this is episode 1 broke Crunchyroll for like a little while. So there's an article on IMDb which, captures this. I don't think I need to pull up the article, but it basically broke records when it first came out. Oh, there's tons of comments. I'm sorry. Adagong said, fun fact, Crunchyroll is better laid out than Webtoon with wish lists, custom lists, even comment sections on episodes. Ooh, maybe they should look at Crunchyroll to streamline their platform. Send them an email, Adagong. Adagong also said, we'll say Saturday in an anime. We'll say sat in an anime club and saw part of episode 2 and most of episode 3 of Solo Leveling. What did you think though, Adagong? What were the thoughts? Kaylee Blue said, I'm kind of like how Taps works, except no one is there. I like how Tapas works too, to an extent. I don't like that everything is like, buy this, buy this, buy this. That gets on my nerves because I feel like you could have some series on there for free. Just being honest. Hughes said, the fans of the series also helped massively hype the series up. They really did. Like, the fans were here for this series because they showed up to destroy Crunchyroll servers. Hugh said God of High School and Tower of God animes were flops. Listen, I really, really liked the Tower of God anime. I thought it was so good. Adagon said, honestly amazed how successful Solo Leveling's premiere was. So that's another thing, getting back into this. It wasn't just that it was successful because it was beating other things as well. So like we have here the Gear 5, like that's a huge thing for One Piece. Like it was a big reveal because, it's like a power up and all of those have been like epic and whatnot. And so, it was going to get high budget and all of this. And so when we look at the likes here, we see that Solo Leveling is winning. Solo Leveling is 158. One Piece is 141, which this could have changed since this screenshot was grabbed. But I'm just saying that when this was going on, Solo Leveling was dominating. Then we have their intro. And we know how much people love, music. They love the anime intros. People will listen to that thing on repeat. It hit 1 million views. So that's also crazy. That is it's just destroying records. And to be honest, the series has been really slow, and I feel like it's just getting to the point where it's going to start amping up to be like that epic adventure sort of thing. So the community has really showed up for this anime, and pretty much all of the reviewers that I saw, all of the articles that I've seen about it have been pretty positive for the most part. Does it have its flaws? Of course. What series adaptation doesn't, but a lot of people really enjoyed it. Oh, bye, Josie. Thanks so much for stopping by. Adagon said, Crunchyroll is even more tidy in organizing their titles into sections like genres. Adagon, you're going in on this. You're like, justice for the platform. Adagon also said, I really enjoyed what I saw, loved the animation, and the characters were vivid. I like all of the characters in this series except for the main character. He's very much Mr. Steal Your Girl once he gets his Moon Prism makeup transformation. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Adagon also said, although, why do most animes never animate animals and monsters very well? They're mostly stiff, expressionless, and have poor anatomy, unlike the human characters they are accompanied with. I cannot answer this to save my life, but that's funny that you've noticed it because I never have. So I pretty much want to talk about this just because I feel like people, with the success of this webtoon, and I think I've said this before, when we support these webtoons that are getting adaptations, it incentivizes investors and other companies to buy more IP. So it creates situations where it's really becoming more and more possible that if you get a webtoon contract from a company, you want to tell them, I want animation in my deal. Like, it's not a pipe dream. It's something that can be very realistic. So that leads to getting a better contract, which I preach this all the time. And I really feel like people need to do their best to get the best possible contract before they sign. Don't just sign because you feel like you must. I mean, there are situations I think where you possibly could sign and be fine. But I'm just saying, if there are specific things that you want, specific routes that you want to take, it doesn't hurt to bring it up in negotiations. Counter, please counter. So I will say that a lot of kids dream when they're watching cartoons, anime, or any other sort of non-realistic animated. I can't think of the right words right now. My brain is like mush. But I feel like a lot of kids see these things and they're like, I really want this. And then they grow up thinking, as reality sets in, it's not possible. Well, this is where I'm like, you could definitely be somebody who ends up with an anime. There's so many people who have joined Webtoons that talk about their journey and how oh, I just started writing because I love this story, or I just started this, and they ended up with animes. The Tower of God creator, has found so much success in the Webtoon community, and I can't remember if the article mentioned if he was in a specific career path before switching over to this. I just remember it talking about him getting out of the military and then starting Tower of God. But more or less, my point is it doesn't hurt to have a pinch of salt with. Is salt the right expression? It doesn't hurt to have a little bit of delusion with your dreams. So although we live in a society that is very hard and can be very daunting, you could end up with a anime that's breaking Crunchyroll servers. So, and I just say, if there is a webtoon that you dislike, showing up for it doesn't cost you anything or do anything, but it does benefit you in the long run, because if a series is successful, especially one that's similar to yours, that only incentivizes other companies to want to pick up your IP. So there's so many people that I hear in like the Hollywood-esque era um, group, and they're always talking about like the next Game of Thrones. When are we getting the next Game of Thrones? And it's like you could look for other stories that aren't like Game of Thrones that could be the next big thing. But my point is there's so many people that like after that picked up a lot of fantasy series, which ended up not being good. I'm not gonna name the ones that I'm thinking of, but my point is it doesn't hurt to show up for these animes or stories that could likely Webtoon could likely be ruling the world one day. And then a little sneaky post that I wanted to throw in there because I felt like it's not confirmed and it's more of a rumor, but I feel like just based off of the success of Solo Leveling, the rumor mill has really been going heavy that Omniscient Reader is getting picked up for an anime adaptation, which I feel is in the same genre as Solo Leveling. And so whatever company picked this up, they saw those numbers and they instantly were like, yes, please, we will greenlight this. So again, when animes or webtoons are successful, companies will look in that same genre to see what else is successful or what they can scoop up to make the next big thing. Sorry, had to take a drink there. Oh, look at the Lack Daisy series. It got funded for an animated series on Kickstarter. Oh, I haven't heard of this. Hugh, you'll have to send me a link to the series. Adagong said, Unordinary seems like something that would slip into animation very well. Yes, I agree. Many Disney films, Studio Ghibli, and Primal are my go-tos for drawing animals and monsters with correct anatomy while still providing visual expression that doesn't lose you in its ambiguousness. I agree with that. Disney does a great job with animals. So does Studio Ghibli. I think Ghibli's better. Magnetic Saw is agreeing. Yes, yes. Adagong said, the fact that so many webtoons now are getting anime adaptations is huge sign of how big webtoons have gotten. I agree. I think when we really start seeing more of the American stuff pick up, that's when I'll be like, yes, it's really taken off, which I feel is in the very near future. Hugh said, isn't ORV going to have a live action movie? Oh, Omniscient Reader. Isn't Omniscient Reader going to have a live action movie, or was that a rumor too? I think that it was a rumor. I don't know how they would do, like, is it going to be a series? Like, I can't imagine it just being a movie. Like, it had to be like a movie in multiple parts. Yes, please send me a link. Apollo, you have never heard of Lackadaisy? The pilot episode was huge triumph for indie animation. I don't think so. Like, I'm not really that big into animation, to be honest, like in terms of like keeping up with it. So unless somebody showed it to me, I missed it. I'm sorry. I'll look it up after the stream. Well, Hugh said they're going to send me a link, so I'll wait for the link and then watch it. All right, so that was our 3 extremely juicy stories. Hopefully, I won't be taken out in my sleep tonight by a certain entity. Hopefully the AI conversation wasn't too crazy, and obviously the solo leveling thing was really just an update. But I hope you guys enjoyed the stories. They were actually really fun. I I struggled a little bit, but I did my best. So with that, we will enter our question and comment section. So if you guys have any questions or you want to ask me anything, I am here. Feel free to ask me anything you would like. It just doesn't mean that I will answer it. So if you want to know my favorite ice cream flavor, you want to know what I like in my coffee, then, you know, I'm down to answer it. Or if you want to tell me what you're doing, what you're up to, what you've been doing, that would be cool. Oh, thanks, guys. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad. I know it's a little bit of a later stream. We're like 2 hours behind what I normally do, but I really wanted to do the stream, and I felt like we were getting closer and closer to March, so I didn't want to be behind. Uh, sorry. I didn't want to be that far behind and do like two news streams back to back. I felt like that would be really boring. Adagon said, "What's a story trope you hate?" Ooh, I'm gonna have to think about that, Adagon. Give me a second. Matt Rainwater said, "What is your favorite ice cream flavor?" My favorite ice cream flavor is Bluebell banana pudding. It is so good. Like, I love it. There's no words for it. Witch's Brew said, "Long time lurker. I'm just happy to finally catch a stream." Yes, I guess pushing it back a little later made it where I could be able to interact with some people that I've never been able to. Okay, so thinking about story tropes that I hate. I really hate the Mary Sue, or what's the male version of Mary Sue? I can never remember what the male version is called, but I hate characters like that. I don't like a character. I don't mind a character that's good at everything, but when it's not explained why, or they're given no flaws, like for instance, I feel like Saitama's technically Gary Stu, that's what it is. I think Saitama's technically a Gary Sue, but like it's played up for laughs, and the storytelling, like it doesn't, like it makes sense. Like everything makes sense, but he's like good at everything. Like, is he bad at anything for real, for real? So like when they're written like that, or like Psyche K, Psyche is good at pretty much everything, but like he has like his own troubles, his own issues and flaws, and although they're external sources, it makes sense because life is not perfect. So I love it. I love like that. I like that trope when it's done right, but I hate it when it's done wrong. Like really hate it. Adagon said, "Here I'm practicing writing with a story on dystopian samurai and yokai forest." Oh, that's cool. Hugh said, "I had a smoothie." Ooh, what type of smoothie? Are we getting swole? Are we doing like a protein smoothie? I'm all for that. I'm hitting the gym hard tomorrow, peeps. Gotta get that evil fitness on. Matt said, "The Bluebell banana pudding is pretty good. Can attest." It's so good. It's like life-changingly good if you haven't had it. Hugh said, "Important question. Cookies and cream or mint chocolate chip?" Oh no, I'll probably get canceled with this, Hugh. I hate mint. So it had to be cookies and cream. I'm sorry. Ah, Jess, you did miss it. You're probably at the, if you guys didn't know, which I appreciate you all being here, Webtoon Canvas is having their stream, what, the creator summit. So that's going on until like, I think it's ending maybe in an hour. So dot dot dot. Oh yeah, I remember chatting to you about those sort of characters. Yes, yes. Like I feel like there's a way to do Mary Sue characters right. I'm trying to think of another trope that I really just cannot stand. We'll see. Kayla Blue said traditional pub book characters are Gary Stews and they work. Yeah, they definitely can. What's mint? So mint chocolate, like it has like a mint, like a peppermint sort of flavor. Like it's not peppermint, but I don't know how to describe it. But I'm not a fan. Yeah, bad quality mint ice cream tastes like toothpaste, so don't blame you. Hugh, are you a mint chocolate or a cookies and cream person? We need to know. This is important. I must know now. Jess, were you at the Creator Summit? Like, who went to the Creator Summit today? Now I'm asking you guys questions. So I thought about going today. I just didn't have the time. I needed to finish prepping for the stream. I had to work until 5. I had to help a friend move. So I had a bunch of stuff going on. And so when I finally got back to the house, I was just like, oh, I need to relax for 30 minutes before I get on the stream. Maybe take a little bit of a break and then jump on with you guys and actually have like some energy to make it through the stream. What brand toothpaste do you use? So I use, I think it's Crest Glamorous White, but I use, okay, so this might sound crazy. I use a different toothpaste in the morning and at night, and sometimes I'll use one of the toothpaste in the morning and then use the other one behind it. I have like a whole teeth routine, to be honest, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, yes, Hugh, cookies and cream for the win. Jess was not at the Creator Summit. Did nobody go to the Creator Summit? Who am I going to get my news from for the stream next month? I was hoping some of y'all went so I could be like, hey guys, what was the summit like? Was it any different from how it usually is? I just didn't have time to be fooling with Webtoons today. I'm sorry, Webtoons. I was just busy. Magnetic Salt, you forgot it was happening. Oh no. I guess everybody was kind of just like, I'll go if I remember. I remember when they had the first one that I went to. It was over the pandemic, and I had like set an alarm. I brought my notepad. I was like taking notes. I was so studious. Having a 2 toothpaste teeth routine, it's such an Apollo thing, very on brand. So I use Sensodyne in the morning, and then I use the Glamorous right afterwards. I've tried a few other like teeth toothpaste, but I really have a thing where I feel like my teeth are probably one of my better attributes, and so I'm just like, yeah, I want people to be like, oh, your pearly whites are so nice, which I get compliments on them all the time, which makes me so happy. So my 2 toothpaste routine is worth it. Adagong said, I think Mage and Demon Queen could make for good material. Yeah, definitely. I haven't read a lot of that. I think I've read like maybe 10 or 15 episodes, but I really enjoyed it. Adagong, Hugh says that series seems too explicit. Does it? I feel like I could see some of it on Adult Swim. Adult Swim can get a little, you know. Oh, if you don't know what Adult Swim is, am I showing my age? Does that still come on? Adult Swim was this segment of TV on Cartoon Network that started late at night, and it was like for the like adult kids. So it had like Dragon Ball Z on there and whatnot, and so it was like, oh, people losing arms and all of that stuff. So it was very much, it was fun. Like if you stayed up late on Saturday, you might have like turn down the TV really low so no one knew it was on because you didn't want to get in trouble for watching something really violent. Like, that was the vibe. Who here doesn't know Adult Swim? Listen, I don't even know if it still comes on anymore. That's why I said it. It could still be a thing. So I'm like, I don't know. I remember like they used to have like Adult Swim in the afternoon too, like when you got home from school. That was wild too. Like it was a wild time. Like being I don't want to reveal my age. Being back a few years was a wild time to be alive. All right, let's enter into our creator shout out. So I was hoping they would be here because like they've been so supportive of the stream, and I always try and pick people who are on the stream as regulars. But Laundromat, which I'm saying that real Southern, and Lawnmower, also real Southern. I'm sorry. I wanted to draw some attention to them. They are so amazing. I've been like perusing their TikTok and whatnot. Such a good time. But anyway, they are two very, very cool Webtoon creators, and they have, I think, 2 series, but I only picked one. It's called Poor People Go to Hell, It was a pretty fun read, so if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and give it a try. The summary is death is inevitable, but for the mysterious cult of Dr. Joannison, exceptions can be made, and it updates every other Sunday. So just from that little description, it caught my interest, and I was like, yep, this is the one that I'm gonna shout out. So maybe in the future I'll shout out their other one, but they've been really awesome, and I just love the support. And so please check out their series. Let them know that Apollo sent you if you're not already reading their series. Oh no, did I start chaos in the chat? Matt said the funny thing about Adult Swim is only the adults didn't know about Adult Swim. Right? It was wild. I remember Primal was airing on Adult Swim, and that introduced me to the platform. Oh, I thought Primal was an HBO original. Crazy. I didn't know it was on Adult Swim. Matt said Adult Swim is still a thing, but it's mostly reruns of Family Guy and Rick and Morty. Really? There's no more anime on it? What? Just said, I was thinking the other day that naming it Adult Swim was probably a branding move to attract teenagers. It was. I bet it was. Just, I agree with that. It's a big brain branding move. Adagong said, that title has me captured. Yes, it's so good. Poor people go to hell. Jess said my mom didn't know about Adult Swim. I bet she knows now, Jess. I'm kidding. Adagong said, though, we'll say that a platform airing only one show is not something new to me. I remember Cartoon Network showing only Teen Titans Go for a time. Yeah, I don't know why companies do that. Like, I understand that the series is popular and people want to watch it and whatnot, but we can look at something else. So that leads us to the question for the community, which we kind of already talked about it. I didn't expect to get as much of a response as I did at the beginning of the stream, but clearly I want to hear you guys' perspective. I want you to explain your feelings on AI art, the positive, the negative, like, should it be used? Should it not be used? Like, what's going on with that? Like, just leave all of the comments, all of the thoughts in the comment section below. So I'm entering my outro mode. You guys have been awesome tonight. It was so much fun. Oh, one last question I will answer. Jess said, you ever sneak into an R-rated movie as a kid, Apollo? Nope, I did not, because my parents would not drop me off at the movie theater without knowing what I was going to see, which meant I had to buy the ticket if I went and then show them. So I was not allowed to see anything rated R until I was much older, unless I was with them. So I never snuck in. All right, that's going to be it for this. So if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, leave us a like, a comment, and most definitely ring the bell. A thank you and shout out to our patrons. Be sure to follow us on all our social media. You can chat with me anytime on Instagram. I'm generally there, always lurking. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.